This is our 2021 kickoff, and I'm glad everyone could attend. We value your time, so we're gonna try to keep our meetings under an hour because we know everyone has been looking at screens 24/7, so and been on phones. So we value your time, and I put a little presentation together. But before I get started with the presentation, John, do you want to introduce Holly?
Sure. So I feel like I'm going to have to say a couple things before I introduce Holly, because no one knows who Holly is or why she would be here with us yet. So last time we talked, guys, we were talking about, the ACS and the fact that we had lost a lot of our staff and we're having to find new ways to do things. And one of those was that we were trying to get some events to merge together to save money and expenses. But since the last time we've talked, we've gone through another series of staff cuts. So we're even smaller than we were before. And part of that is us transitioning some of our events, especially our relay events, into what we're going to call remote staff positions, where we have staff that support events from the phone, from the internet, not live in person. So we were going to have to merge Franklin with Granville, and that was the last thing we had talked about last fall. Well, because of the new shift that ACS has had to go through, we no longer have to merge the two relays. So you are now able to have Relay for Life of Franklin County separate by itself. The only difference is we're going to be shifting you guys over to one of those remote managers. Just because I'm the only person left working relay out of our Raleigh office. And they're really focusing in, they want me in person with specific communities right around the Raleigh, greater Raleigh area. And I'm not going to be traveling outside to a lot of our, surrounding counties as much anymore. So I'm still here. I'm definitely still a resource. But you guys are getting a new manager who's going to be fully dedicated to you all. And that is Holly Durham. And she's one of our remote staff. She's absolutely amazing. It's been a really pleasure getting to know her last few weeks as we've been talking through transitions and things. And she's just amazing. So I'll let her introduce herself and then kind of share a little bit about what does a remote manager mean and what are the things she can do and can't do? Because basically she's me, just can't get in a car and drive and go see you in person. But I'll let her explain that, and then we'll kick it back to Danette. So.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting me come to your call this evening. And just as John was saying, I can still come to your meetings just as we are doing virtually. If you ever have them virtually, one of these days, I'm sure you'll go back to being able to have them in person like you did in the past. And that'll be exciting for everyone. But if you ever have them, even when you do have them in person, I can still attend them like this if you would like me to. We all know that the American Cancer Society has always been a volunteer-ran organization. And so I know that this sounds like a great group of people, and you're awesome volunteers. I've already heard a lot about you, and you're going to do an awesome job. The only thing different about being in a remote status as an event is that I won't be an extra set of hands at your event because I can't physically be there. But I can do everything for you that you need in regards to getting what you need, doing things that you need for your event in preparation for it, and being your cheerleader. Even if you live stream at your event, I'll be there watching it online if you're live streaming, and be there as a cheerleader, as I said, watching your Luminaria ceremony as you're having that, and just being as involved as I possibly can. So I won't take a lot of the time because I know you have a lot to go over this evening, but I will be sending out emails and introducing myself along with it's a 2-page letter, but it's really just not a lot, but just telling you a little bit about myself and hoping that each of you will engage with me and tell me more about yourselves as well. And I'll be working with your event leads to find out what all your needs are, but anyone is welcome to call me, text me, email me at any time to let me know of any needs that you may have as well. Just an open door communication for everybody. So I'm looking forward to getting to know everyone. So thank you so much for allowing me to be here this evening.
Okay, we'll get started.
And Danette, I did just post in the chat box. So if folks have questions or or comments or anything during the meeting, you're welcome just to come off mute and talk. But you can also put it in the chat box and I'll monitor that for us as we go through it.
Okay, will do. As we stated before, the 2021 kickoff, Relay for Life of Franklin County kickoff 2021. During the kickoff was it last week, John? Because last
Yep.
Thursday.
Last Thursday.
What they continue to say, you're going to hear a lot. Relayers make the impossible possible. So you're going to hear that over and over and over again this year. Relayers make the impossible possible, and we love our survivors. Relayers make the impossible possible. Relay may look different this year, but our passion is unchanged. Welcome to our Thursday, February 11th, 2021 Franklin County virtual kickoff. We'll come together as a community to kickstart another year of celebrating lives, sharing stories, and using our strength as a community to fight for a cancer-free future. Every dollar raised fuels the American Cancer Society's fight against cancer. Relayers make the impossible possible. How do I sign up to help save lives? We have a challenge going on, sign up to save lives sweepstakes, and we already have 13 teams that have signed up so far. And we have a link where you can sign up for this sweepstake. And John, you might want to shed some light on this sign up startup relaying. Because since we have the 13 teams that already signed up, let them know what they have to do about that part.
Yeah, so fun thing, usually when you sign up for Relay, right, you're just signing up and there's no prize for signing up. But this year, we wanted to do something really special. We know we're all coming kind of out of that COVID year, and we really want to start 2021 strong. So what we've done is put together this awesome National Relay for Life sweepstakes, where you can get some awesome prizes, including AirPods. Goodness, they're not on the screen, so now I'm drawing a blank all of a sudden. Holly, can you help me out and figure out what the 3 prizes were? Kendra Scott Jewelry, AirPods, and something else. I just can't remember what it was. Apple AirPods, like headphones. But anyway,
I can pull it up. I don't have it in front of me either.
Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that. But it's simple. All you have to do is sign up for a 2021 Relay for Life event. You're automatically entered in the sweepstakes to win one of those 3 prizes. So the great thing is the 13 teams already signed up, and all of your team members that are already signed up are now in the contest. Okay. But what we need to do is get everyone else signed up, from team members to team captains. We want all our teams back from 2019 and 2020. We want everyone to sign up by the 16th of February to get entered into this great thing. Because you could sign up on the 17th of February, but why not sign up a day early and get entered into a great sweepstakes to win some cool prizes? And then I do have some things in the office. Our Raleigh office is currently closed, and I'm going to schedule some time to go in there, and I will put together a nice little local prize package of some relay items. So you'll have 2 chances to win. You'll have the national chance with the sweepstakes, and then any team registered by the 16th. I will also, Danette and I will draw a name from a hat or something, and we will get you a little relay prize pack to kind of kickstart your relay season as well. So 2 chances to win, but you got to register by the 16th.
Okay. Everybody understand that?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I'll go on. I'm gonna show you something at the end, but for those who are on the phone, we can maybe send a picture of it, but I'll get to it when we get there. The t-shirt information, Relay Rewards program. If you raise $100, you get a Hope Club's t-shirt. You raise $1,000, you get the Grand Club, and $2,500, you have the All-Star. I'll let John talk about the. Someone may say, well, will there be Survivor t-shirts this year? One thing, we want all the teams to be sure to get all your Survivors signed up, but I'll let John to elaborate about the Survivor t-shirts.
Yeah, so if you were on the national kickoff call, you would have heard a little bit of information on the t-shirt program for this year. So you remember last year we weren't able to do shirts because we were trying to save as much money as possible with the pandemic because we knew we were going to be raising a whole lot less money to the tune of about $200 million across the country. So this year, when we looked at it, we knew we're still battling COVID in the beginning, so it's probably going to throw off some of our fundraising this year as well. But we knew you all wanted shirts. So we tried to come up with a way where we could provide Relay for Life shirts in the most cost-effective way possible for the American Cancer Society, because we know when you and your teams are doing your hard work fundraising, you want that money to go help cancer patients, help fund research, and really make a big difference in the fight against cancer. What we don't want to do is just be a t-shirt company selling shirts, right? That's not effective, and it's not a good use of your money. So in order to be able to have shirts this year, we had to kind of completely redesign the program. So there's a couple things different this year. And the big thing is that you're actually going to be able to go and order your own shirts. Everyone can order their own shirts, from participants, team captains. Everyone can just get a shirt whenever they want a shirt. Now, there's a few finite details that are still being worked out. So all of this will happen on the Relay Rewards website, which we'll have to add the link to that when we send it out as the notes later, but it's shoprelayrrewards.org or com. Holly, you might want to correct me on that. But anyways, all of it's going to be ordered through there. So the Hope Club shirts, because Hope Club is always a reward item for having raised $100. So when you raise $100 and it shows up on your website, so when it says Danette Cheatham, $100, Danette would automatically get 100 points added to her Relay Rewards, and then she would be able to go into the Relay Rewards site and order or redeem for her Hope Club shirt. And that will get shipped directly to her as soon as that program goes live. And that should happen in about 2 weeks from now is what we're being told. They're just trying to work out a little bit finite details there as far as like what are the shirts going to cost individually. So Hope Club shirts, you get that for free for your fundraising of $100, just like in the past. And the only difference is you're getting it right away now, which is really nice. For the other shirts, so team captains, event leadership team, and survivors, those can be purchased with real dollars, credit card, or however you want to do it on the same website, the Shop Relay Rewards website. So the good thing there is anyone can order a shirt whenever they want it. So if you've got, say, you've got a team that really wants to get the survivor shirts for their survivors in their church, we'll get your survivors to sign up. And then there's a couple ways you can do this. You could post money to your teams and divide that out to your survivors so they can get their Hope Club shirt. If you were to say raise $1,000, you had 10 people on your team and you posted $100 per person on the website, they could all go ahead and redeem their Hope Club shirt. The other way to do that would be if someone wanted to order shirts for other people. So say Danette, as the team captain, could theoretically go in there and just purchase shirts for all the survivors on her team if she wanted to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, John, what about the survivor? I mean, I know you said about the survivors, we purchased the shirts for our survivors, but if the survivors are not registered, will the other people be able to? I know you said be able to.
The big thing is we want all our survivors to register, and that's always been the goal. The reality is some folks just don't register each year, and some people get confused. They're like, why do I have to register this year? I registered last year. It's the whole point of registering, guys, just a reminder, is there's a waiver when you register on the website or if you call our 800 number to register. And that just helps protect the American Cancer Society and protect the event in case someone were to get hurt or something like that. It's just a legal precaution, right? But that's why we have to register every year. And so survivors do the same. Now, if you had, say, Danette's church, maybe she had, 15 survivors, but 5 didn't register, but 10 did. So those 5 that didn't register, Danette could go into the Relay Rewards site. And if she wanted to, she could pay money and buy them shirts for those people that hadn't registered. But she would need to know what their shirt sizes are. And then they would get shipped to Danette, and Danette would need to give them out. If you want your survivors to do it themselves, they have to be registered so that they can go and log into Relay Rewards website, which is usually the same login as your Relay login. And then they could order their own shirt that way. But ideally, like I said, we get all the survivors to register, but the team captains, I really would encourage you all this year to be way more vigilant than ever before, and really make sure you connect with your survivors, help them get registered either on the website, calling the 800 number, or even on the fundraising app that ACS has. You can register right through there now too. Help them get registered and help them redeem their shirts, because we know we've got some folks that just aren't very tech savvy. They may not really have email addresses or things like that. And for those folks, it will be a little more difficult. But I believe everyone, if you need help, you can call me, you can call Holly, and we'll talk you through it. But it should be pretty simple. Like I said, we're just not sure exactly what it will cost right now per shirt, because that's a little bit of the fine details we're working out with the t-shirt company, because the shirts are going to get shipped directly to you. So it will cost like the base cost of buying the shirt plus a little bit extra shipping, right? But the cool thing about that is, like I said, we get to have shirts. Doing shirts this way, even though it's going to be a little bit tricky, because it'll be like purchasing shirts, where before ACS bought the shirts with the money you guys raised. This is going to save the American Cancer Society about $1.75 million across the country. So when you think about the impact $1.75 million can have in life-saving research, or being there on the 800 number to answer questions from that cancer patient that is up at 2 a.m. and has no one else to talk to because their doctor office is closed and maybe they don't have family with them, and they're stressed and they're worried, and they call the American Cancer Society, and we're able to pick up the phone because of your support. That will still happen, and even more of that will happen because of this shift to the t-shirt program for this year. So I know it's kind of big. It's going to be a change. We're all going to have to work through it. Holly and I are here to help you all through that. But it is going to make a big difference. We're going to be able to fund our mission more than ever before because of this. And we just hope you all are happy that we are able to do shirts this year, because we weren't sure we were going to be able to do it. But this is going to allow us to do it and allow us to save that $1.75 million while doing shirts. So any questions?
Okay, we'll continue on.
Feel free to post questions in the chat, or if you're watching the recording later, you can email me or Holly and we'll help get your questions answered. And like I said, the fine details are still being worked out, and you should expect information coming out in about the next 2 to 3 weeks. We'll send out the details as we get them, but we wanted to make sure you guys were all up to speed as far as what we know right now. All right, thanks, Annette.
John.
Yes.
This is Mildred. Did you say the survivor, they order that shirt, they have to pay for them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure I was clear on that.
Yeah, and I had a couple people that have kind of questioned that and said, well, why do survivors have to pay for shirts? We never made them pay before. Well, we did pay for their shirts before. We just did it through the fundraising. So it's not really a big shift. The only difference is, instead of me basically taking money you all have raised and ordering survivor shirts, you all are just taking money and ordering them directly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I understand. I just want to get clarification.
Yep. And there is some ways we can be creative, and Holly will definitely, and I can still help you with that too, where we've thought about this and we've said, well, what if we had maybe like a certain sponsor that had said, hey, you know what, I'd like to sponsor, but I'd really like to buy t-shirts for folks, for survivors. That's possible. That survivor or that sponsor could go to the website and order shirts as much as they want. The only caveat to that is that if they're buying shirts from the website, it's not a tax write-off as a traditional sponsor would get. So like if they donate, $5,000 to the American Cancer Society, that's $5,000 of like tax incentives they get. But if they're buying shirts from the website, it won't be the same, because that's another company that we work with, not a nonprofit. That makes sense?
And John, if I may, Mildred, just in case your survivors, I know a lot of survivors don't sign up on a team, but if a survivor is on a team and the team does raise enough funds to compensate for that survivor shirt, then they would not have to pay for a shirt. So that's
Yeah, I
another
understand that.
that's another way of them not having to purchase a shirt. So there could be opportunities where survivors would not have to purchase a shirt. I mean, in all honesty, we want to try and avoid survivors having to purchase a shirt. So if you can find a sponsor that will, put the funds up for it, with not having to do a tax write-off because it's not coming to a nonprofit, it's going to the vendor itself, or the funds are raised and they are on a team, then if you have a survivor team that raises enough money to compensate for the cost of the survivor shirts at $100 per person, then that will take care of the shirts as well.
Yeah, so basically it's like using Relay reward points to purchase the shirts.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So good question, Mildred, and thank you for that. Anyone else before we move on?
Okay, the next one was something to get us thinking. Relay 2021, what are you looking forward to? That's just something to get you thinking about, and then you can let us know what you're looking forward to for Relay 2021. The Relay date event information, sponsorship details. John, on this dedicate a luminary, I would like to have some kind of reward program for like whoever sells the most luminaries, say for the next 2 months. Whoever sells the most, they get some kind of incentive on that. And also, can we I know we normally have them for $10. Can we do them for $5 for this fundraiser? I mean, this trying to get people more involved instead of selling them $5. I mean, $10 is selling for $5.
Yeah, let me look and see what's available, because there's different store options for us to choose from on the Relay store. So let's chat about that after the call and work out the details, and then we'll share that with everyone. But I love the idea of a prize. I definitely have prizes I can put together.
Okay.
That's easy to do. The $5 bags, that's a little more tricky. Let's talk through that, and then we'll get back to everyone on that one.
Okay, and what we're stressing this year, if everyone please download the ACS app, at least one person on your team to download this app to collect your funds, your checks, credit cards. It would be very helpful to Holly and John and myself if everyone, at least one person on your team, download that app on their smartphone, because it'll be easier and your funds will post immediately when you download this app to and you don't have to worry about checks being cleared or anything, because it'll post and you just hold the check for. We can go through a lesson on that through the steps later about the ACS app, but if at least one person on your team to please download that app, and then make sure if you know some teams that haven't registered, to just remind them to get registered. And John, if you want to elaborate about the Relay Date event, because I think we had to push it out.
Yeah, so looking at the trends of how everything's going right now with the pandemic, ACS has said we really don't want to host Relay events in person in pretty much the first half of the year. Like if we want to look at a really late June date, we could probably get that approved. But we don't want to have our traditional relays happening in that late April to mid-May. We really want to push that out further, just because we got to give people time to get vaccinated and for that to do its work, and for hopefully the majority of our populations in our county to get vaccinated, right? Because if we can do that, we have a much better chance of being able to have a relay and be able to see each other in person. Because when you say, your questions in that of like, what are you looking forward to? I am looking forward to seeing everyone around the track again, because I sorely missed that last year. That is what I want to see. But in order to do that, we know that we've got to look a little further out than our typical relay date. So Danette is going to be working on looking at new date options for us. And once we have one locked in with the school, we will publish that on the website and get that all out to you all. But just be aware, we are going to be looking at late June to July timeframe, because we want to make sure we can get that locked in. I think, Danette, I don't know if you want to share the tentative date that we're shooting for with everyone, but I know it's not locked in yet.
I had selected July 16th or July 23rd because I was trying to make sure it didn't interfere with any of the school graduations or however they were doing them, or college graduations, and some of the summer breaks.
Yeah.
But I had picked July 16th and July 23rd. So if y'all okay with those dates, let me know.
And we'll have to see, of course, what the school has available and everything on that front too. And then I did want to touch on real quick. So Danette put on here sponsorship details, and that's one thing with the Hope Club shirts I forgot to mention. So good reminder. Thank you, Danette. That's one of the other changes with the shirt program. The Hope Club shirts are going to not have the custom printed backs that we typically would do. So in other words, we won't be able to give everyone that as a sponsorship benefit. So we know our sponsors in the past, above the 500 mark have been on the shirt. 500, they got a name on the shirt, and then 1,000 and up, they got their logo on the shirt. So we are working on creating a new sponsorship package for everyone, so that it won't have that, because we don't want you going in there pitching a sponsor again and saying, hey, you're going to be on a shirt, when no, you're not going to be on a shirt, right? So we want to make sure we're delivering on what we're promising. And that's that other piece of being able to save that large amount of money, that almost $2 million, is by not making custom shirt backs for every relay event across the country. So we'll get you an updated sponsorship packet as soon as we can. That should be ready. I think we'll probably have it out in the next week or two pretty easily. We'll post it on the website. We'll, share it out with email with everyone as well. But that's something we can do right now. And when Danette's talking about, go ahead and get your team registered. So first step, register. Second step, think about ways you can fundraise right now. And Danette mentioned that first one is the ACS fundraising apps. Super easy to connect with folks. But sponsorship is the other one. We know there's a lot of businesses that are still doing really well right now. Doesn't mean all our sponsors are doing well, but there's a good amount that are doing well. I mean, I even know restaurants that are doing better business now than they were initially, because they've really converted to like that, delivery service or the takeout service and that kind of thing. Like, goodness, they're, Chick-fil-A, I still can't get in some days. It's so crazy. So, it's not there are, of course, folks badly affected by the pandemic, but there's still businesses doing great. And we just need to reach out to our sponsors, encourage them to support us again this year, and reach out to those new sponsors. And that's something that can happen right now. And that can be great fundraising to get you those relay reward points to go ahead and order your shirts as soon as they're available, hopefully in about 2 weeks.
Okay. And this is my last slide. Thank you to all the American Cancer Society volunteers and ELT members who dedicated their time and their money to fuel Relay for Life. Thank you for funding the future. Thank you, and God bless. And I have the 800 number listed, 1-800-227-2345. I'm sorry, 1-800-227-2345. That's the number you can use for some of the survivors if you wanted to get them set up. So that's my presentation that I have. And then I have a shirt for those who can see. This is a shirt. I don't know if you can.
You might have to turn off your background in that. Oh, there it is. Okay. But it keeps going in and out. That's the current design, guys.
So for those,
it keeps fading, doesn't it?
I know, because of my background. But this is a relay shirt that I can give to the team captains. I just need your t-shirt size. So just send me your t-shirt size, and I can get these shirts to you.
Yeah, and this is, so just wanted to, I brought these out. Danette was gracious enough to meet me over at Target in Wake Forest the other night, like really late, and I had to run out there, and she met me. We had ordered some team captain shirts for you guys last year, right before like they shut down the t-shirt program. So these shirts were bought with money you guys had raised last year. So I wanted to make sure you got your shirts. So Danette has those. She's got a good number of team captain shirts. So we wanted to make sure, if we have the right sizes, that's the caveat. We don't know exactly what size you are and who's registered right now. But if you're one of those 13 teams registered right now, or if you're listening to this call, and you get your team registered, immediately send Annette a note with the shirt size you want. And if she's got one, we're going to set that aside for you. And you won't have to go and buy that team captain shirt, because we've got a certain amount that are going to be free because we'd already paid for them last year. So that's the other incentive. Get your team signed up first, because once those shirts are gone, the only way to get it is for you to order it yourself. And we've got them free over at Danette's right now.
Yeah.
Danette, can you put your email in the chat box?
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Thank you.
So take advantage of those. You all earned those and paid for them last year, but we're super excited to get them out to you, and we really want to share that on the call as an extra surprise for everyone.
I don't have anything else, John. Just that we have to revisit some other things.
Yeah, so I kind of want to end on a positive note for everyone. When we talked about last year finishing strong, and when we had done our wrap up, we had done a great job, and we even had fundraising that happened after the wrap up. So I want to give a shout out to Danette, her family, their church team, because y'all were amazing. You did your raffle or chance drawing. You did your chance drawing fundraiser and helped raise some money, like right at the end of the year, before the holidays, and that made a big difference. And while the American Cancer Society has had to make a lot of cuts in their staff and things like that, and change the way we're doing some relays in some areas, we still finished the year really strong, guys. So we raised over $500 million last year, even with the pandemic. So of course that was 200 million short of what we normally would be doing, but that was a massive win, and that allowed us to fund all of our current research. So when we talk about research grants, those grants are usually in effect for like 4 or 5 years, and they get a certain payout each year of that grant. They don't get the whole money right up front, right? They get it incrementally as they go. So we were really worried we weren't going to be able to pay all those grants that had already been approved. But because we had such a great finish to last year and raised that 500 million that we were looking for, with the support of you guys right there in Franklin County, all of those grants that had previously been funded were all able to be paid. We weren't able to fund new research grants, so that is a big thing. We want to be able to fund the new research because we know that's important. We've got more cures out there locked away in some scientist's brain. We just got to pay them and get their lab operating so that they can find that cure. So that's our big push for this year. We want to find those cures. We want to make the impossible possible by doing that. So it starts with you all getting registered, getting signed up, and then start that Facebook fundraiser. Do whatever you can right now. Get a sponsor or whatever you can do to raise money while we're still climbing out of this pandemic. Okay, so know that we finished strong. Your American Cancer Society is in a good place. We were able to meet all of our commitments on the research grants that have already been funded, and we're looking forward to having a strong 2021 with your help and funding more research. So thank you all so much, and know how much we appreciate every single one of you.
Yep. Francis,
Then are we doing ads this year?
I'm not sure about the ads. John, do you know if we're going to do any ads this year? Or
So I think the relay book is still a great idea, Francis. Just that you sell so many ads with that thing, it more than pays for itself.
we'll get with
So
Jessica.
I think we need to talk through with Jessica to see if she's willing to put it together. And we need to make sure we get the digital version out to everyone from last year so that they can see the value of what they put into it. Because if for some reason we weren't able to be in person again, we can do the digital book. But I know it was a challenge getting that done just because Jessica had, a lot of things happening in her personal life at that time, like with her father-in-law had passed. So there's a lot of things happening there, but we want to make sure we get the book out from what existed last year. And I think there's no reason not to sell ads this year, but we need to regroup on that, Francis, and make the ad sheet and all of that and refresh it for this year before we start, promoting that. But we'll work on that for you. No problem.
She said, okay.
Awesome. Any other questions? I know we're finishing. We did this in under an hour. We're just about 45 minutes, 3 minutes from 45 minutes, which is a big win.
We're
But
trying
Holly,
to, keep it under, because I know I'll be on the calls a lot all day.
yes, and same here. But Holly and I are happy to answer any questions if you have them. We've got, we can hang on. But if you need to take off, thanks so much for joining us.
Don't forget to send me your t-shirt size.
Thank you.
Thank you.